that's where Martin Luther King helped get Cleveland. He helped get Martin Luther King helped get a black mayor elected, but also that Cleveland had the first black serial killer outside of Atlanta. And you know what? I have to confess, I'm a victim of society. I didn't think he could get away with it. I knew he'd be smart enough. I knew he'd stick to it. I knew he'd plan things out and be diligent and all those things. I just figured he'd have to talk about it. I figured, just like all the other shows, like you always see, he'd have to go into the barbershop and sit down and say, "Ever notice how white girls die like this? Oh, I'm so sure you're not going to strangle me. That is and black girls die like this. Oh, no, you did not just try to grab me by my weave and choke me to death. That is some bull. I'm just playing. I can't kill me no sister. How am I going to bury me a sister and have that big old booty sticking out of the ground? Shit.
Kaboom. Got 8 minutes. Keep going. Start from the beginning.
Okay. Well, I look like a lot of serial killers. Well, I like this time of year.
Right there. Keep going.
Okay, I'm like this because I'm not the only one in disguise handing candy out to little kids. I can't have this much fun until Christmas. Kaboom. It's also great because I'm working as an EMT, and that's a van kids haven't seen me in yet.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And they pay you to strap people down. And you know what I found out? You're working also with a partner. That's important too, because your job is hard to hold down, and so is she. And show other people. Yeah, it's great for your social life because they give you latex gloves. Because nothing ruins an evening out like fingerprints. Kaboom. Fingerprints. And, like I said, did I say this yet? This is a van they haven't seen me in yet. And it's not like these other jobs where I'd load people up. You get money whether you let them out early or late. You get the same amount of money. You don't even have to hide. You don't even have to do an undisclosed location or anything. People just pay you.
Talk about that.
People just pay. It's not when I had to go to a payphone, disguise my voice, or I have to ask for unmarked bills.
Keep going.
Or anything like that. And so that was the only other problem is that sometimes they get mad. They don't want you to come up. They don't want you to, and I figure, if we do more of these and get more, but they don't want you to hurry. I know because I had such a hard time getting the job with my speeding tickets. I said, but I thought this was emergency medicine. Is there something about emergency medical medicine that I'm not understanding? I said, I was speeding with a normal car. Do you know what I could do with a siren and people moving out of my way? Kaboom. Besides that, it's kind of racist. I'm German. Of course I'm going to speed. They're going to say, why were you going 110 miles an hour? Well, it was dark and it was raining. I'm not, it was dark and it was raining. I'm not going to drive full speed. I'm not a maniac. That's not the Autobahn where I go 130.
Keep going. You got 5 minutes. Keep going. Kill it. Keep going.
Okay. It's not the Autobahn where I go 130 miles per hour. Anyway, but sure, I look like a celebrity, but and I have been on television. And I do look like a lot of other famous people. Some people think like Drew Carey after chemo. Kaboom! Ever since my girlfriend had cancer, I tell people I went down on her after chemo. Kaboom! But some people think I look like a serial killer. Really, I just play one on America's Most Wanted. I hate that show. Oh, no, just play a serial killer. On shows like America's Most Wanted. I hate that show, especially when they get my name right. Because I was supposed to be on Dateline. Turns out they really hate it when you show up a day early.
Hilarious.
But I learned my lesson from the internet. The girls never look like their pictures. You think you're going to meet this really hot 14-year-old cheerleader. You go to meet her. She always ends up looking like a 50-year-old FBI agent. She always got 4 friends who just like her. And the same ugly dark blue windbreaker. Total buzzkill. Kaboom.
Boom,
And besides
keep
that, some
going.
of these dating shows are these other dating shows besides Dateline are awful. Like Eliminate, they called it Eliminate, but the girls keep coming back. When I did my version, the girls didn't come back until the sequel, which I called Carbon Date.
Kaboom.
Kaboom.
Keep going.
But I in the sequel, which I called Carbon Date, but that's what happens. But you see, I was an anthropology major. All these years of putting bones into the ground, this is just my way of putting something back. And now the thing is, as smooth as I may seem, I wasn't always such a prodigious dater. I really sort of gave up on the prospect. But my mother died, and I knew I had to start meeting women because I knew my mom was in heaven watching me. I got tired of her seeing me touch myself. No, she really wasn't going to see anything, not from up there. They just called me Laffy Taffy, or the angels would. Kaboom.
I think that nobody knows what that is but you and I. Laffy Taffy's fucking ridiculous.
It's just candy, isn't it? Yeah. So, I'm glad you like it. So,
Keep going.
all right. Sorry.
3 minutes.
Yeah,
You're plowing for 2 hours. I love it. Keep going.
For 3, okay. No, I was the Robin of the I like to order the rabbit stew. Then I say, yeah, there's a hair in my soup. Kaboom.
Hilarious. Keep going.
All right, there's a...
Keep going.
No, I like fish tacos. Did I put...
You didn't do that one before.
No.
Do that one.
I like fish tacos, except, I don't know if my fish would like them. And even if they didn't like them, they wouldn't tell me. I know they wouldn't because they're coy.
Hilarious.
Like,
Keep going.
Dating is, but when I learned a lot of those women, they say they're so lonely, they wish they had a stalker. Turns out they're just kidding. They're just kidding. But if you really, I don't need to stalk it. But you know what? I tell them, I just bought a $3,000 telescope. Why do I need to stalk you anyway? I've seen you shower. You're getting a bronze shaver for Christmas. Kaboom. Anyway, some of these women you don't want to get with anyway. Some of these women are all attitude. They're always answering a question with a question. You say, how you doing? That's always, how'd you get in my house? Or, why are you following me? Or the one I can't stand.
Hilarious.
These girls have got nothing to say. I know, because you pull the socks out of the mouth and I'll use... Or they just want to talk about work. And I said, honey, this is boring. I don't care how many Girl Scout cookies you sold.
Keep going. You got 1 minute.
Is that gross? Is that gross? Yeah, I know. Carbohydrates are disgusting. You're lucky I got you before high blood sugar. Kaboom.
Keep going.
No one's chasing you down in a wheelchair.
Kaboom.
Unless they want the good parking spots.
Kaboom.
And then people say, people ask me if I'm cold wearing this or hot wearing this out. I said, no, I work, or cold. So, I work for LA County, and those orange jumpsuits get so hot during the day. I said, well, should you really be here? He said, no, my side of the freeway is completely clean.
Kaboom.
I said, well, how'd you get such a great job with the county? He said, wait, no, I used to be in phone sales. That's right, man. For $10,000, you too can have your daughter back.
Keep going.
Fine. She doesn't remember a thing. Kaboom. Because I'm thinking, if your girl's having a good time, which is with you, do you really need to ruin everything by waking her up? Kaboom.
Very good, dude. Wow. For 2 fucking hours.